Year 9 for this guy. How about them apples? Year 9 for the wide receiver of the Seattle Seahawks, getting set to take on the Dallas Cowboys in a preseason game that you can catch Saturday night on NFL Network at 10 Eastern Time, 7 locally in Seattle. Seahawks wide receiver Tyler Lockett back here on the Rich Eisen Show. How you doing, Tyler?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How is year 9? You're getting to be the OG of that locker room, huh, Tyler? Right?
Yeah, man. It's a blessing just to be able to go into year 9. But, you're right. It's a lot different. Seen a lot of guys come and go, but just being able to still be there, I've learned from, my first year being there to now, just kind of how to be able to help create and make a team. Well,
you've seen guys come and seen guys come and go, and now you've seen guys come and go and come back. In Bobby Wagner, how's that been, getting him back in the mix, Tyler?
It's been phenomenal, man. I think, we've missed Bobby when he left last year. His presence, just the type of leader and competitor that he is. He makes everybody's job easier. He understands the game. He's a future Hall of Famer. And so just being able to get him back, there's so many things that we can be able to learn, not only from what he brought when he was on the team, but even from the outside looking in on perspectives of what it's like to be on another team. How do they go about practice? How do they go about, mentality, all that different type of stuff. And so just being able to have him back has just been phenomenal, and it's done wonders for us.
Did he step right back in the role of being Bobby Wagner in the locker room with a bunch of guys? Did that just right away happen, Tyler?
Yeah, right away. And if there was any doubt or any questions about it, once he came in, it was like, bro, everybody's treating you as if you never left.
And it's just must be great. I can't wait to talk with him about that and being back in Seattle. And now, obviously, after your terrific season last year, it is now a follow-up season. What is being discussed on that front within your training camp, Tyler?
I think the biggest thing is just consistency. Consistency is very hard in this league, but consistency comes with many sacrifices. It comes with lots of effort. So, the biggest thing is you got to be able to understand where you're at, and then you got to be able to just learn how to manage and continue to grow, continue to build. Things might not always look like how you want it to look when you go out there and you run routes or when you go out there and you're playing, but you just got to be able to learn how to adapt, learn how to maneuver around the obstacles that come its way. And ultimately, if you keep on playing, you're going to end up being not only the ultimate competitor, but you're going to end up winning.
And Geno Smith, at this point last year, it was still up in the air, right? And we all know Drew Lock got sick, and Geno got more reps, got more preseason action, and then got the gig. And the rest appears to be history right now. How is it in any way, shape, or form different in him knowing it's his gig? It's the reins that he's holding of this offense right now?
Yeah, well, I think it's a lot different because, like you said, this time last year, you're talking about two guys being able to battle out for the starting position. So not everybody got a chance to be comfortable in that lead role, in that starting role as the quarterback. Everybody had to split the snaps. We had to split the conversations in half with trying to be able to get on page with two different quarterbacks and making sure that we all understood each other. We had to build chemistry with two different quarterbacks. And so that's kind of what happens when it's a quarterback battle. But now going into this year, with Geno, kind of already understanding his situation, it allows us to be able to continue to learn how to advance earlier this preseason than we were able to last year.
How are the kids at running back right now, Tyler?
Man, they run feisty, running through people. You've seen it when we just played against the Vikings. I love the mentality that they have, and they going out there and they're playing aggressive.
So is Kenneth Walker, you think, going to be ready for the season? You think he's a week 1 guy, Tyler? What do you think?
Yeah, I think he is. He's back out here and he's practicing with us, and so I think there's a lot of creativity that we're going to have on offense with just being able to utilize him. We already saw everything that he can be able to do last year, and so, like I said, it's just him being able to build up off of that and just being able to continue to do what he's always done.
Well, speaking of Big Ten guys that I'm glad that are no longer in the Big Ten taking on Michigan, Jaxon Smith-Njigba your teammate. Now, what's he bringing to this equation so far, Tyler?
Man, I mean, ever since, we've gotten him, he's been lights out. Just real smooth with route running. He understands the game. He's learning, and like you see his IQ one day, and then the next day his IQ just shot up through the roof, 30%, 40% more just within that day. So the more that he's been able to sit in meetings, understand our philosophy, understand our offensive scheme, he's able to go out there and not even think. He's just reacting, and he's making so many great decisions. He's using late hands. He's able to catch really, really tough catches. So, I mean, he's been playing lights out.
And then the two kids at tackle growing up now in year two. I mean, how good can this offense be, Tyler? What do you think here? What do you got?
Well, I mean, I think we could be great, man. I just think the biggest thing is we all got to make sure we're on the same page, and we all got to be able to want the same stuff. NFL is a little different than it is in high school and college. Those are more of the team-oriented sports. But in the NFL, we all got to be able to almost die to our individual goals, and we got to be able to all want the same thing as a team. And so we can't be out there like doing our own thing. So I think for us, we're constantly growing and we're constantly becoming a better offense. And like I said, that offense might look different every week. A team might take away the deep threats and they only make us go short game the whole day. And some people will make us go deep the whole game. And so not only do we have to take what they give us, but we got to be able to understand what they're doing before the game, during the game, and then be able to navigate through what it is that the defense is giving us.
Well, what do you mean by not being on maybe the same page as a team-oriented goal? I'm confused by that one. Can you?
Well, I mean, there's not really a lot of confusion behind it. Everybody has individual goals. Everybody has team goals.
Sure.
So the biggest thing is just making sure that we're all on the same page and learning how to help each other achieve our individual goals while also achieving the very, very best of our goals together as a team. So, I mean, I'm just saying there's a lot of distractions that come. There's a lot of reasons why people play football. It's just in general. I'm not just saying about our team. So I'm just saying in general, you make it to the league, women come your way, money comes your way, like all these other business opportunities come your way. And so the teams that you always see hanging on to the very end are the teams that don't get distracted the most. And they're the teams that are in it together. They don't get caught up with the media, and they go out there, and they're always playing because they understand what's at stake.
So what's your role in this then, Tyler, on that front? How do you view your role on that then?
Well, I mean, your role changes every day.
Mm-hmm.
Some days you might be in the forefront. Some days you're at the back, trying to make sure that you help the last man behind. Some days you're the cheerleader. Some days you're just a supporter. Some days you're a counselor. I mean, it just really depends. It's kind of like understanding what is it that your teammates need. But it's not only me. It's some of the other vets that, have been captains and that understand how to lead a team. And, it helps us to be able to be there for more than one person rather than just trying to put it all on one specific player.
Tyler Lockett here on the Rich Eisen Show. So a couple things here. Your teammate, DK Metcalf, I love having him on just like you, but I need your perspective on this of a story that I cannot wait to ask him myself that popped up this summer, and I do call it a story. He eats candy every day. Are you serious,
Yeah.
Tyler? Is that for real? Like he's apparently one meal, coffee, and candy, and that's how he survives and subsists. Is that true, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, if he tells you that's his diet, I mean, that's his diet. I've seen it before, so.
Like what?
I mean, it's
like how so?
true.
Like what do you mean? Like you're just like in a meeting room and you look over and it's just Skittles like Marshawn or Pop Rocks or like what? What do you mean? Like what is it? What is he doing?
Well, I mean, it varies. It might not be in meetings, but it might be in downtime, like leading up before meetings. I mean, it's just. I mean, he has his own way about doing things. I mean, not all of us can be his size, with his speed, with his skill set.
Yes.
So, I mean, whatever he does, it works for him. and you can't tell everybody else to follow that same diet.
Oh, no. So, but he does walk around with candy around the facility, like for real? Yeah. Tyler?
I mean, at times.
Okay.
I mean, we're not in the same. Sometimes we're in different meetings, so
Okay.
I can't always see,
Right.
what he's doing. But
All right.
I mean, sometimes if he doesn't have it, then I mean that might just be his time off to not have it. But like I said, if he's telling you that's exactly what he does, then yes, he does it, and he might do it when nobody's watching, or he might do it when people are watching.
And again, I know that he's not a teammate of yours, but you're going to see him this weekend. He is a Kansas State Wildcat like you. Deuce Vaughn, when you see him on Saturday night, do you have a relationship with him? You're going to seek him out, talk with him about what's in front of him potentially? Tyler?
Well, I mean, I haven't really got to talk to Deuce Vaughn a lot, but, I've always supported him ever since he went to Kansas State. So I'm definitely going to be able to go out there, talk to him. He was playing great when they played against the Jaguars in the first preseason game.
Yes.
And, his whole life he's been beating the odds. Like, every obstacle that's come his way, people always talk about height, but, you can't measure heart. You can always measure your height, but heart is what keeps you in the league, and heart is what brings you to a lot of different places and gives you opportunities that, height and size can't give you.
And so, are you going to tell him that, or pull him aside, or I'm just wondering how you view your role maybe as a Kansas State Wildcat in the National Football League?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go talk to him, but for me, it's not always about just trying to talk to people and tell people, certain stuff. It's just being able to create that relationship, and
sure.
Eventually you'll be able to say stuff like that. But until then, you just constantly learn how to build it. If you got any questions, let me know. Where you gonna be at in the off season, just that type of stuff. And then sometimes it's better when you let them kind of ask you questions.
Sure, I got you. So, and what's going on with you otherwise? You always have stuff happening off the field that is fascinating to me. I'll give you the floor. What's going on with you, Tyler? What else is going on?
Oh, well, I think for me the biggest thing is, I've kind of already started one of the things that I want to do in my second career, which was real estate. So
okay.
I've been doing that thus far, and I want to say I've sold about 5 houses this year, 4 in Washington, 1 in Texas, a little bit under $12 million in volume. So, the biggest thing is a lot of times people will say, well, you're not supposed to be doing stuff while you're playing football, but, that you can't really tell people that. And I think for me it's all about balance. It's about team management. It's about having the right team around you that can be able to help when you might not have the opportunity to do as much as you want to be able to do. And so I'm really a true believer in being able to, utilize every gift and every asset that you have, and not just being able to utilize yourself and just being one thing until that thing is over.
So were you the guy who sold Russ that 10-bathroom house in Denver, or you had nothing to do with that deal?
No, I didn't do that. But, one of the other cool things is being an agent, you also get the chance to do referrals.
Okay.
And so you do get paid off of referrals. So,
all right.
Like in that example, if I would have referred him to an agent, then I would have been able to, get a piece of what that agent got as well. So that's the cool thing, is you don't always have to just be a listing agent or a buyer's agent. You can just say, hey, one of my teammates just went to go sign somewhere else. I'm going to refer them an agent, and then that way you can be able to help them. So it's lots of cool ways, man, to be able to do it. And with just having a luxury and opportunity to work with my teammates, it's cool because they don't have to pay me. I get paid through the seller. So that's what does even more wonders.
Now, by the way, I would take a piece of just a half of selling, half of referring half of Russell's bathroom. You and Bobby Wagner must have some great conversation, because he's all about this, right? Isn't he all about business too? About second careers and getting ready and repping himself. You know what he's all about, Tyler?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. When I first got here, you always heard a lot of the vets talk about business, whether it was Sherm, whether it was Russ, whether it was Bobby, whether it was Cliff. And so the cool part about it is, like you said, with Bobby coming back, we can have all these type of conversations, because I'm in that place where we talk about private investing, we talk about public investing, we talk about creating investment funds, and then you got Russ, who started a numerous amount of businesses, who is always there if you got any questions or you need help with being able to figure out how to go about stuff. And so that's the best part with being able to be in this game of football too, is you're not only having great teammates and great players on the field, but you have people that are willing to sit down and help you learn how to succeed when it comes to outside business.
Okay, Tyler, I love it. Last one for you here. Your first game against the Rams at home. You wanted to have a tone setter in division. There it is, right there. And obviously Bobby's got some history there now, recent. You've got long-term history. And then next up is a game at Detroit, which you know was an insanely high offensive game last year. And the Lions have definitely feeling there's a bandwagon about how they could be the team. Do you look at the first 2 weeks of the season as a tone setter or what for your team, Tyler?
I look at every game as a tone setter.
Okay.
In this game that we play with football, you could lose at any given moment, at any given time, and you got to be able to come ready to play every single day. It can't just be a team that is on the bandwagon or a team that you know is going to be in the playoffs, and that's when you choose to come and play. You can't just come and play when it's a certain great player on the other side and you're like, I got to go against them day in and day out. Because if you're only focusing on the teams that matter, you're going to miss out and you're going to lose against the teams that you feel don't matter. You're going to lose matchups against DBs and linebackers that you didn't think mattered, because everybody's gunning for you. Everybody wants to beat you. Everybody wants to say he's not like that. So you got to be able to be on your P's and Q's. So, we can't go out there and take any of these teams lightly, because there's no division game that's a lightly game. People probably thought it was like that for us, and we showed otherwise. So you can't go out there and just look at teams and be like, man, we should blow them out. They don't got this person no more. They don't got that person no more. You got to go out there and you got to play at a high level, and if they can't match your tone, your intensity, your playing style, your level, then it'll show. But you can't go out there and always expect to win without being able to do the work.
I love it, Tyler. You're really one of my favorite interviews. So if you don't mind me finishing up by asking a favor, if you don't mind, for me.
Oh, no, you're good.
No, I appreciate that. Now, I'm going to bring you down to my level. You're too classy for this, so I apologize. When you see Jaxon Smith-Njigba, will you tell him Dad says hello? Just say that. Just say, Dad.
Dad says hello.
Dad says hello. And follow up by saying, Dad says hello from me. Dad says hello. That I'd love to have him on later on this fall, right around late November, to set up a conversation about our maybe collegiate back and forth between the two of us. Okay?
Okay. Yep.
Would you imagine?
That works for me.
Yeah. He probably won't like this, so be careful. But you're the vet. You're the vet. He's the rook. This is what he's going to have to deal with. Just say, I just spoke to Rich Eisen. Dad says hello. And he wants you on his show in late November, if not before. Okay? Would you mind doing that? Okay. Would you mind?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Tyler, thanks for the call. Greatly appreciate it. Have a great 9th season in the NFL if we don't speak beforehand, and definitely during the year. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. You have a great one.
Right back at you. At TD Lockett 12 on both Twitter and Instagram, right here on The Rich Eisen Show. Catch The Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.